I'm going to give you a tour of my hotel. This is a Comfort Inn. The room is it's definitely Japanese size, and it's not necessarily what I would call large. The other one that was in Lakeland was much bigger than this one. But considering how small it is, we'll talk about how I'm making the most of this. One of the things is there's not really a closet. This, I don't think it's 1.5 feet wide. It's definitely not 2 feet wide. Anyways, it's pretty narrow. I mean, I can reach back and I can touch this, and I'm not even up to my shoulder. So anyways, we have this small amount of closet space. If you go down to basically the 100 yen shop, you can just pick these up. I got these from one of the outgoing guys. Anyways, all your clothes. This is where you're going to need to put them because there is no dresser. And the reality is, normally when I go to a hotel, unless I'm going to be there for a long time, I won't use a dresser anyways. That being said, if you are going to store your clothes and you don't want to live out of your suitcase, basically what I end up doing is I'll grab an outfit, meaning I'll grab my jeans and the shirt, and the overshirt is pretty cold out here. Anyways, it really cuts down on space because, like I said, there is no closet. As far as dirty clothes are concerned, I have basically like this little foldable deal, and it fits about perfectly up here in this nook. So this is where I'm throwing my dirty clothes, and I have to do my own laundry, so it's kind of a necessity. These light switches are a little bit weird. They're green when they're to basically mark the location. Light turns off when you turn them on. Again, the outgoing guy gave me one of these for basically for hanging stuff, but I don't like that so much. The bathroom is super small. You got two things going. Basically, again, if the light's not on, then it means that it's on, right? So in this case, it's the fan, and then the light. This is height-wise, I don't think it's 6'6". I don't, because yeah, I don't think it's that tall. Anyhow, all my stuff basically is right along the edge. They pile a bunch of stuff up here, and best thing to do, grab a hold of it and just take it out of here, because there's no space for anything, and I freaking hate that. As far as the tub's concerned, this one's kind of odd. The other hotel had one that was pretty much like normal. It's kind of funny how this operates. I've seen different designs for this. The other one was a little bit different, but basically this will go from the shower to the faucet, and in itself that's not too weird. Usually we'll have like a pull or something like that. But the other thing that's kind of weird about this, this is the faucet side. You turn on the heat, hot water. It's all fine and dandy. If you want to fill the tub, you slide it over. So the water pressure is definitely a lot higher than what I found in the States, and you can see just how strong that is. I think it's probably about 100 psi. It's about 65 psi at home, and this thing will almost take off on you if you don't have it secured. So pretty standard for a Japanese hotel room. No, all joking aside, this is a pretty typical thing. This is all like one piece, so all the water gets contained inside here. The other weird thing is the Japanese toilets. This one has got a heated seat, and it's also got the bidet function, which is kind of funny because some of these just don't say it in English at all, right? But this says bidet. It actually says bidet in katakana, and this says shower, but this actually says oshiri, which basically means your hips. Let's just say your butt. Anyways, yeah, that one's for spraying your backside and then stop. This is the water pressure, and this is basically you can change if it's heated, the temperature, whether it's just hot or just warm. So yeah, a lot of people get weirded out by this. Whatever. As far as hotel rooms go, the bed is okay. A lot of the hotels that I stayed in Japan, the bed is rock solid, and me being about 6'2", my feet will go right over the bed. So this is still kind of a smaller bed, but anyways, it's not so bad. The other thing is, oh, by the way, they leave these for you every day. I never use one. But the pillows, this is an actual, honest to goodness pillow like you'd have back. It's a little bit thin, but a lot of the other ones that you would get down there are, they're not, they've got these, I don't know what the material is, but one of them I was feeling like, imagine grabbing some straws, like drinking straws, and then cutting them up into basically every quarter of an inch. And then, so you have this basically this just bag of them, and then throw them inside of a pillowcase and put a little bit of stuffing on it, and that's what it's like. As far as use of space, the desk it's adequate. I'll put it that way. They have a little refrigerator in here, which you have to turn on, I might add, because I made that mistake beforehand. But there's enough for about a 6-pack of soda, maybe some other stuff in here. The TV is about worthless because all the programming is in Japanese. So honestly, I don't even bother with it. There is enough space to put my laptop comfortably, and then basically any of the paperwork or anything that I'm working on. Here's the thing: when you walk in here, there's just a mountain of stuff that they have on here. Like for example, how to operate your television. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that comes in. And if you leave it up here, like inside of this tray, which I now have my power supply on, you'll have no space for anything. So my solution, bag it up and slide it under the bed. Because if not, you're not going to have room for anything. And some of the things that I've taken out of the closet and things out of the bed, one of these things for putting your, basically for setting your suitcase on. What else I got underneath here? This is all nonsense. This whole bag of nonsense is information, everything that's either in the bathroom or it's on the counter. Welcome information. Most of it's, if it is in English, it's very inadequate as far as the translations are concerned. And then things like extra. I threw these underneath here. Because they're wood and they take up a bunch of space. Now my leather jacket's heavy, so that makes sense, but all the other stuff's light enough that it's just taking up too much space in the closet, so I just opted to throw them in here. And then there's a box of tissue that I threw under, which I'm probably not going to do this again because I see that I have 2 boxes of tissue. So apparently they thought I used one. Anyways, I'm not gonna take those off because if I do, I imagine I will have an entire under the bed will be full by the time that I leave. Couple things. You have to kind of live light when you're in here because you don't have any space. All my traveling stuff is in my backpack. I don't know why this is like a humidifier and dehumidifier. The actual air conditioning unit is up there. Another small thing is basically your hair dryer. There's some stuff in here. Yeah, I need to throw that. This is the type of stuff that you get in a new toothbrush and a hairbrush and stuff like that. Obviously I brought my own, so this stuff's kind of worthless. And my God, I would be afraid to use one of these cheap razors. Usually cut the hell out of yourself. And then this is for tea. The reality is, if I'm going to make tea or something, I probably would go rather have coffee out of one of the machines, or maybe just go take a walk. Because unfortunately, I do spend a whole lot of time in my hotel room, mostly just working on my laptop. One of the things that you'll see typically, and I didn't notice this before, is there will typically be some type of emergency flashlight. And a lot of times, what happens is, see how it's working now? There's a little. The battery, there's a little separator in here, so when you put it in place, it just shuts off. So you pull it out, the batteries come together. Anyways, I have yet to stay in a hotel that does not have an emergency flashlight of some sort. This is a little recycling bin for your bottles, and like your plastic bottles and stuff, and then just a regular little garbage bin, which is kind of handy. The one interesting thing about the way that they do the beds and stuff in here is the switches. Even though it's over there, this is like a 3-way switch. you can control the lighting from your bed. So if I wanted to turn it off, I actually just turn it off there. That's the room lighting. There's foot lighting, which is here. This is what it looks like without. So, and then the other thing is there's a little book light that's up here, and this is also pretty handy as well. So you can see it's good for reading, and actually I have been doing a lot of that lately. The other thing is the alarm clock is built right in here, and basically you just push the button and it'll set it. So I got mine for 7 a.m. At least that's my understanding. I never use it. I typically either one, I just wake up without the alarm going off, or you know, when the sun comes up, it typically wakes me up, or I'll set the alarm on my phone. So another thing that you'll notice about the electricity is there is no ground on this. If you brought something that has a ground, you need to get an adapter that basically gets rid of it. Other things, sometimes, not in this hotel, but sometimes you'll see, it almost looks like a twisted face. That's because you actually put in the outlet, you plug it into the outlet, and you twist it, and it will lock it in place. If you ever wondered what the little circles are for on a lot of the plugins at home, something like this, those little circles, well, we never use them in the state, but basically you put them in there and you'll just twist it and lock it in place. So, but that's pretty much it. That's the hotel room. The view is, it's a view. It's not a great view. So it's just to the parking lot, be that or the street. Some people prefer this because they say it's quieter. But just a typical Japanese landscape. And you know, the windows open. They kind of open funny, and I'm not gonna do that right now. The one other thing I should mention is these remotes for the air conditioning. Extremely confusing. Extremely confusing. So I still have not mastered this. Sometimes you can go up there and you can change the temperature. That would look straightforward, but it depends on what mode that you have in there. And I really think that they could have simplified this so it wouldn't matter if it's English or Japanese. But the other thing is, to save on electricity, there's a timer in here. So that's basically, it means to enter, and this one means to cut. So yeah, it seems kind of weird, but anyways, you turn the timer on, and then if you look up here, basically display. So I just turn the timer on, and that actually right there, it says timer. Kind of weird on my phone, it looks green, but it's actually amber. So the timer's on, but it's not necessarily on. You have to push this orange start and stop button, and it'll actually kick on. So you can see the fins are coming out, and basically what it's doing is it's loading into position. There's a slight breeze coming off of this. You can change the fan speed and stuff like that. Again, it's not straightforward. Neither was the one in the other hotel room. It's kind of odd. This one's basically oscillating. But yeah, anyways, you have to sit and wait for it. So sometimes it looks like it's not doing anything, and then it'll just all of a sudden it'll take off. But yeah, there's heating and cooling, and it's on this remote, but it doesn't say heating and cooling, and you'd think that they would have done it graphically. But anyways, it's like that means up and down like vertical, and that means left and right. So I'm sure this is the oscillation. Anyhow, as far as this hotel is concerned, it's not great, but it's okay. Mostly for me, I'd rather have a comfortable bed. And the other one had a couch in it, and it was bigger. It had a full-size bathroom, but mostly I'm going to spend my time working from my desk, and sleeping. Those two things. The other thing is the restaurant at this hotel. There is two of them that are just down below, and they are much, much better. At least from what I can tell, as far as the other one. So, also this one's in Hikone instead of Minami Hikone, which is South Hikone. So it's a little bit bigger town, so there's much more options for you to go to. So, that is my review of this hotel.